Quick question. When do you think people are happiest? When they're a kid, when life feels wide open? Or later, once all the pressure is off? For a long time, scientists thought they had the answer. And it's kind of surprising. They found something called the happiness U-curve. Picture the letter U. Scientists studied millions of people all over the world, and they kept finding the same shape. People tend to be pretty happy in their 20s. Then, little by little, happiness goes down through their 30s and 40s. It hits its lowest point somewhere in the late 40s or early 50s. And then, here's the surprising part. It goes back up. By the time people are in their 70s, many say they're happier than they were in their 20s. So why the dip in the middle? A few things tend to pile up all at once around that age. Work gets stressful. You're deep into your job, but maybe things haven't gone quite the way you hoped. If you have kids, this is often the busiest, most tiring stretch of raising them. Parents might be getting older and need extra help. And there's something else going on too. By this age, you've had time to compare the life you actually have to the one you dreamed about when you were younger. And sometimes, that gap feels disappointing. So why does happiness climb back up later? A few reasons. As people get older, they naturally start caring more about what really matters. Spending time with people they love, enjoying small moments, and less about stuff that doesn't matter, like impressing people. They also stop comparing themselves to others so much. In your 20s and 30s, it's easy to look around and measure your life against everyone else's. By your 60s and 70s, most people care a lot less about that. And when you expect less from life, it's a lot easier for life to surprise you in a good way. For a while, this U-shape looked almost like a rule. It kept showing up again and again, in country after country. But here's where it gets interesting. Newer research is starting to question it. Some recent studies say the dip isn't happening the same way anymore. For a lot of people today, especially younger people, the hardest years seem to be showing up earlier, in their 20s and 30s, not their 40s. Other scientists say that once you fix some mistakes in how these studies were done, the U-shape mostly disappears, and happiness just slowly goes down over time instead. And when scientists studied happiness in places that aren't big modern cities, small communities where people live off the land and don't have things like retirement or office jobs, they found something totally different. In those places, happiness usually doesn't dip and then rise. It just slowly goes down as people get older. Mostly because it gets harder to stay active and keep contributing to the group. So that U-shape might not be some universal law about being human. It might be more specific to modern life, shaped by things like careers, retirement, and comparing ourselves to others, which don't even exist the same way in every culture. So is there one perfect age to be the happiest? Honestly, it depends. It depends on where you live, when you were born, and even which study you look at. Unlike things like how fast you can run or how quick your reflexes are, happiness doesn't seem to follow one fixed timeline for everybody. It's more flexible than that. It responds to the life you're actually living. But here's the one thing that keeps showing up, no matter which study you believe. The things that seem to make older people happier? Spending time with people they love, comparing themselves to others less, appreciating what they already have, aren't secrets you unlock at a certain age. They're habits. Anyone can start them, at any age. Which means, unlike a physical peak you can't speed up, this might be one kind of peak you get to choose to move closer, no matter how old you are.